So I was seeing that people needed something to kind of feel connected, but not like invasive, like an appointment. And so I made this app where people can log on and there's like pre-recorded classes, meditation, sound bowl healing. So if they can't like come into the clinic or come into the events that we have to do those things, they can get some of it on their own and work at their own pace.
That was Dr. Janelle Clayton, the CEO and founder of HealthWorks Chiropractic Auto Injury Clinic. She transformed her passion for health into a thriving clinic and is here to share her story. Welcome to the Iron Mind Podcast. Join me, Josh Brumley, as we explore the minds of those who forged their paths through legal battles, business triumphs, and creative conquests. We uncover the stories behind their iron wills and innovative minds. Get ready for thought-provoking conversations, practical insights, and actionable advice. This is the Iron Mind Podcast. Welcome to the show, Janelle.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
Yeah. So can you tell us about like your early life? Are you from Seattle? Are you from Washington? Where are you from?
So I'm from Seattle, from Washington. I was born here, Virginia Mason, in the heart of Seattle.
All right.
I grew up here, and I went to high school, Bellevue Christian, and then I transferred to Sammamish halfway through. So that was interesting.
So you're an East Sider.
I'm an East Sider.
Okay. What led you to pursue a career in like the health industry?
I was always good at math and science, and so that's...
You're a STEM girly?
I was a STEM girly.
I love it.
And so I always knew I wanted to do something in the science area. And then I think also I had a lot of things with my own health that were challenging, and traditional medicine wasn't helping me. And so I was always seeking like alternative care, alternative solutions. And so chiropractic was just a really great fit for me.
Well, I know that, with the opioid, I couldn't think of the word. Wow.
Crisis.
I mean, it's not front of mind to me, so that's good. But so I know with the opioid crisis, a lot of people are really like not excited about Western medicine anymore. And a lot of my friends have looked into like Eastern medicine and a lot of these like Reiki and things like this. Tell us what you know about that.
Okay, that's my jam.
That's
my wheelhouse.
that's why we got you here.
So the amazing thing about Eastern medicine or holistic medicine or alternative medicine is that we know right away if it's going to work or if it's not going to work. So if you have a condition and you're not getting better within like a month or so, we probably need to look a little bit further. Also, just the whole philosophy of treating the whole person versus treating a symptom is really the foundation of like acupuncture, chiropractic, naturopathic, and just holistic health in general. And so our whole approach is to look at all the things that are affecting your health and then kind of piece away the things that are disturbing the health. So we believe that everyone is, whole and complete and can be that way and will stay that way. And if something goes wrong, we look for what goes wrong instead of kind of just throwing medicine at it.
Yeah. Okay. So can you tell us about Reiki? Can you tell us about all these different types of Eastern medicine for people who just don't know what that is?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm a Reiki practitioner, and the level that I'm at, they call it Reiki Master, which sounds like I'm Jedi
Master.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm a Jedi Master.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that's just the highest level. So it's like once you reach that level, you can teach other people Reiki, and you kind of like have this responsibility to like, channel your energy in a good way. But basically Reiki is this idea of like taking the energy that's around us and channeling it into like through your body, out your hands, into healing energy. So it's kind of like a radio. Like we don't see radio waves, but we can tune our antenna and then play music over the radio. Mm-hmm. Reiki's the same way. It's everywhere. Some people naturally have the ability already.
Like the Force?
The Force.
Okay.
They have the Force.
Okay. It's very Jedi-esque. For the Star Wars fans out there, I'm obviously a very big nerd here, but sounds very Jedi.
It's very Jedi, yeah.
Okay.
And you can do all the moves if you want to. But
Dragon Ball Z also very Reiki-esque, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, all right, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, and so you can just, so basically you are attuning yourself to be able, like an antenna, to like channel it and then like give it to someone else or send it out to nature.
And so that channeling over someone's body is part of the Reiki healing process.
Yes.
Okay.
That's part of the healing
so
process.
If I was coming into your office and I wanted to make an appointment to have a Reiki healing session with you, what does that look like? What happens in a Reiki session?
Well, we talk about different discomfort in your body, but ultimately we're just trying to create a feeling of well-being. Also with Reiki, it goes where it needs to go. So if you're coming in, you're like, I have headaches, but then you also broke your foot, it may need to go to your broken foot.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And that way it's not really, we can
don't choose where it goes.
We're not really choosing.
The body tells it where to go.
Yeah, it's like a magnet. It's like, and some people, we all experience life and energy differently. So some people see color, some people feel like heat and cold, some people feel pressure. Usually people that like getting Reiki are also, they have the ability to like work with that energy. So sometimes they find out that they have the force too.
Okay. So they become a Jedi master.
They become a Jedi master.
Does anyone use Reiki energy for evil? Like,
you can't.
Oh, okay. Well, what's it called?
According to Reiki principles, you can't.
Oh, okay. Okay. So there's Jedis and all are good Jedis. And no one can use the force for evil.
They can use other forces.
There's no Sith in
No,
Reiki.
there's no Dark Lords.
Okay. Well, is there a bad Reiki?
Technically no, but there's some wacky people that you should stay away from.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the difference is. We got to learn. You got to teach us. What's a Reiki Sith Lord to stay away from? Like, how would we know if someone's trying to use Reiki to hurt us?
It wouldn't be Reiki then. It would just be like evil.
Okay. All right. Stay away from evil people.
So,
got it.
It's just like positive vibes, positive energy, prana.
That's something that's been very clear that you resonate. So obviously, like, hopefully the evil people in the world can't mask who they are and pretend to be as fun and bubbly and outgoing as you are, because that's easy to stay away from then. So you do Reiki, but you're running your own chiropractic center. We know each other from the car accident world.
Yes.
But tell us how you got your start in chiropractic care. What school did you go to? Where'd you go? How'd you get here?
So how I got started in the chiropractic world is I had horrible migraines. And so I was actually pre-law.
Oh, wow. All right.
Actually pre-law at Pepperdine University. So I went there for undergrad and I applied to do that track program.
Okay.
And I got there and I was like, no way.
It's not for everybody. Yeah.
But hats off to you guys, because I saw the law students like crying outside and shaking before exams.
Lots of people taking Adderall.
Lots of Adderall. Yeah, and I was like, maybe this is not the path for me. But so my freshman year, I was like on anti-seizure medication. I was struggling in school. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't live the rest. I'm young. How can I live the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Popping pills and like failing to thrive. So I just started to look for things that would work. And so I started doing yoga. I started doing detoxing. And, Pepperdine's right in Malibu. So there's all those healers and there's that vortex and you're by the beach. So there's a lot of resources in nature to just help you. So I just kind of started plugging away and reading and figuring out digestion and sleep, and I was kind of really disciplined. Like usually college is somewhere where you're wanting to party, and it's a dry campus, so that helps. But I really couldn't do much.
Whoa, a dry
it's a dry campus, yeah. So I mean, there was not much I could really even take into my body. So I just got really into health, and so chiropractic. When I was finishing school, I was trying to decide like what I know I wanted to go to grad school, and chiropractic became something that I was like, oh, like I'm a kinetic learner. I love science. This is perfect. It kind of combines everything. Yeah. And so I started down that path.
Would you like to adjust someone on camera for us so people could see it?
Yeah.
Okay. We had to adjust our cameraman.
So you're just going to drop your head like this. Okay?
Yep. Jeez, 4 cameras right now.
You got a lower one here, so we're going to go let go. Good.
Oh.
Good.
Wow.
All right. I want to get this one. Oh, you do? Yeah. Okay, you can stand up. Oh, okay. This one. Okay, so you're going to go like this. You got good pops.
He's like, I don't know what that means.
This was a little invasive. I'm going to reach through and then lift you up, okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, we'll be back. 1, 2, 3.
Wow,
Okay.
heard it.
Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you started your own chiropractic clinic. Obviously, it's booming. You're able to do this just on the fly, meeting someone and saying, "Wow, let's just crack your neck and back." And now my staff here is going to be even more efficient than they were before because the health that you just gave to him.
Awesome.
What has it been like running your own clinic? Like as a business person, as a person that cares about health and well-being, and someone who cares about, holistic medicine, is that pretty common in the East Side area? Is that not that common?
I would describe Washington, and just growing up in Washington, it's granola. So we're kind of like health adjacent.
Yeah.
Our food was mostly organic, like all these things that people are more into now. We were already kind of doing those things, even if
Washington set those trends.
Yeah, Washington kind of set those trends.
We're just cooler.
Yeah. So then when I moved to LA and like Malibu area and Santa Monica area, it was like a thing, And so, and then being part of the yoga community, it's like, oh, we don't do that. We're doing this. And so it became, I guess, more of a mindful practice, and really, even just where to find like clean water. I think we really kind of don't think about that in Washington because we have the mountains, we have natural resources.
Yeah.
Our pollutions overall was lower, growing up. Whereas in LA, you drink that water out of this.
Even the air that you breathe in LA. Oh, yeah. It's a whole other world. So being down in LA kind of focused your attention on something that you were already doing, but made you more of it was more of a decision after being around that, where you're like, well, I need to be paying attention to these things that I was taking for granted living in Washington.
Absolutely. It was more of a lifestyle and being more mindful and intentional with my health. And also knowing the consequences, like, if you're not drinking the filtered water, you don't have the filter on your shower, you're not, eating organic food, you're kind of...
If someone's not gone through like a health issue or something that kind of focuses their attention on those important things, how do you get them to pay attention to those things? Like, is there something that we could say or describe to people that helps turn that light switch on for them?
Yeah, I think longevity. I think people want to look really good.
That's true.
And usually healthy people look...
On camera a lot.
Yeah. So health and attractiveness go together.
That's true. Okay.
So I find that that's a good intersection when people are into beauty and health and looking better. Then they're like, oh, maybe I should do these things, or maybe I shouldn't be putting this on my skin, and things like that. Everything we put on our skin within 10 minutes is in our bloodstream.
Wow, I did not know that.
So, yeah.
So bad lotion just soaks right into your skin and into your bloodstream. Whoa.
Bad cosmetics, things like that. So... I mean, the cool thing is I follow this group called Environmental Working Group, and I've been following them for the last 15 years. I think they're really popular. Kardashians made them popular because Kourtney was like volunteering with them. But they're an amazing group, and they have this scanner app where you can scan like produce or like products, and they'll tell you if they're toxic or non-toxic.
Oh, wow. I did hear about this.
Yeah,
that's a very scary thing to think about, right? There's just so much that we're putting into our bodies as Americans. I know. It's compared to the rest of the world. We eat a lot of garbage, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of fake food we're finding now too, right?
Not good.
Are covered in plastic.
What has it been like running your own business? Talk to us about being an entrepreneur, because that's something that is a whole other hat that you wear.
I would say, okay, so first of all, I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. Like, I full on wanted the salary. I wanted the patients that were going to flow in.
Yeah.
I looked for a job as an associate. I just wasn't finding anything at the time. So this was like about 10 or so years ago in Washington. And so, there were clinics, and I was like, this is great. I just didn't feel anything that was like would be healthy for me and what I wanted, So I was like, you know what, I'm going to start my own business. And that's a whole learning process. I think the thing that is the most important lesson I've learned is to surround yourself with the people you want to be around, because you're around them all the time.
So important.
Like
Yeah, so important. No, we talked a lot in my last podcast with the guest about culture and finding the right people to work with. And he said, I just want to hire good people and I'll teach them how to do the work. I don't care if you don't have any experience. I care if you're a good person.
Yeah.
And that is so important and really a rare thing for a boss to be looking for, right? But I think that that's exactly how I've grown my business as well. There's been people who brought a lot to the table on paper, but I could not stand being in the same room as them.
Yeah.
And they were just rude to everyone they interacted with. And it just maybe those were the Sith Lords of the Reiki community. Those are the ones. I know I know who you are if you're listening to this. If no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say any names. But yeah, it's really tough to find the right crew and to work in a place that makes you happy.
Yeah.
And I was really unhappy with the job I had before I opened my own practice. And maybe it was just how unhappy. I had never been in a job that I disliked more than working for the Social Security Administration. But I would literally get to work, look at the clock, and be like, oh my God, it's only 9:15. And I still have another hour and a half before I get a break. And I'm just the worst. I hated every moment of it. But leaving that job and starting my own business and having the freedom to build something the way I think it should be built and make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and do better the next day. And that the difference between being at such a low point in my work life to being at such a high point, I'm 10 years later still riding that wave, like so excited.
I mean, when I met you, you're like buzzing and I'm like, what's this guy like just on life itself?
Maybe I should do Reiki, right?
I
mean, I don't know anything about it except for what you taught me, but I'm always turned on. Like, well, not like that though.
No, but
cut that out.
But like life force energy is that too, right?
It's
like,
light.
It's light.
Light switch. Yeah. Like not sexually
energy.
Turned on. So what other holistic medicine approaches do you incorporate into your practice?
Okay, so it's interesting. So I basically tell people I'm like the woo-woo meets the auto world, right?
Okay.
So like maybe people have been wanting to try all these things, but they got hurt, so now they get to try all these things. So we, from the very start with the auto accident care, it's patient-centered, and it's trauma-informed, and it's about just bringing down the stress.
Right.
So when people come in, there's crystals, they get private rooms. They are, we're not going to bombard them. They're not ready for the open adjusting area. Like, they're going to get their own pace, and I do work at a slower pace at the start with people. We have massage therapists, also acupuncture, and so we come up with a care plan that fits the patient. We'll get imaging. We'll talk to the patient about, because some people can't get like popped. So
yeah,
I can do gentle chiropractic. We do pediatrics.
You brought some tools with you too. Yeah, so maybe we should try those out. So tell us about your tools that you brought.
This is the Theragun, and I think everyone, I don't know, you've probably seen this, but this is really awesome. So
all right, I'm going to come over there.
Gun.
You can just try it out on me, because this looks exciting. And then the tool is for people who maybe don't want to be manually adjusted, right? Yeah, so this is an activator. I actually got certified in activator methods. It's a whole protocol. So it's just really gentle. Like, I'll just put it on your arm. Like, okay. It's fine. Yeah, sure. Do it.
What did you get adjusted last, Josh?
I don't know.
So it's really gentle. It's on the highest setting right now.
Just feels like a nice.
So we'll do like some length checks. Like there's a whole way to assess what's happening in the nervous system, and then you do the clicking with that. And so I use that a lot on my older patients and babies, and even just areas like rib heads. Like,
what's a rib head?
So like how your ribs come out to the side. So sometimes especially people who have been in trauma, the ribs are like, we call it subluxated, or they're displaced. And so you ever have like a stabbing pain in your shoulder blade? Yeah. And you're like, oh, what is that? And it's just driving you nuts. That's usually a rib head out. Oh. So trying to charge this up, I probably was using it. I use this all the time.
Whoa, that's nice.
Yeah. So their gun was actually, I think this was made by a chiropractor, and he got injured and he couldn't reach. He had a rotator cuff injury. And so he made it so that you can adjust this and you can kind of do it to yourself. So it's good for us too. Josh, you're tight, man.
I mean, I'm a lawyer, this is just part of the game. So this is a tool you use during your sessions with people at the clinic?
Yeah, and we have other tools too. I have like about 4 or 5 different ones of these. So we use it to loosen up muscles. And, sometimes people come in, they're getting a massage, and then maybe they just need other areas worked on really quick, and then we'll do this adjustment, and then they're done. And other times, they're working with me. We'll do cupping. We'll do
Oh, wow, you
stuff.
do cupping, too.
Yeah, we do cupping.
You do everything there. What don't you do?
Sleep.
Oh, okay. You don't have like a nap room at
No,
the...
I have a nap room.
Oh, I knew it. Okay, good.
We got a fridge and nap room, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, you spoke about, sleep being really important,
It's
and
important.
that's super important for brain and all that stuff. So, tell us about your app. What can you tell us about the Body Alchemy app?
So what I notice is I believe people heal in community, whatever that is. Your friends, your CrossFit group, your Reiki group, your yoga group. But healing, we can do a lot alone, but as humans, we need community. We need each other. We need to tell our story, and it's really important. And a lot of times with auto accident populations, they become isolated. They become isolated because of pain. They can't do the same activities. Maybe there's, financial issues or burdens on the family.
Right.
So I was
car, transportation.
Yeah, they lose their car, they're stuck, or there's a lot of fear of going out, right? Like, you don't want to get back in the car. That's a whole process. So I was seeing that people needed something to kind of feel connected, but not like invasive, like an appointment. And so I made this app where people can log on, and there's like pre-recorded classes, meditation, sound bowl healing. So if they can't like come into the clinic or come into the events that we have to do those things, they can get some of it on their own and work at their own pace.
Interesting. Is the app free?
The app is free.
Where do they find it?
And the link that we're going to provide.
All right.
So
well, there you go. We're going to provide the link.
It's on Apple and it's on Android, and it's called Body Alchemy, and it has like a retro rainbow in the background.
Okay. Body Alchemy with a rainbow. All right. And you created this app.
Yeah, I mean, I worked with. I'm not.
Sure. But
I'm
it's
not
like
coding, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they say, right? They're like, you created it, but somebody that you paid created it. Yeah. It's still your app. That's
Yeah, it's
cool.
still my
That's
app.
something to be very proud of. That's something that other entrepreneurs aren't doing. Are you sure you didn't want to be an entrepreneur? Because that seems like a pretty entrepreneurial thing.
I think that there were no other options. It was like, do this or
Or it won't exist,
It won't
right?
exist,
Well, that's entrepreneurship. Like you see a solution and you're like, why hasn't anyone done this before? And you're so frustrated that no one's done it that you're like, I'll just do it myself.
That's pretty much my life.
Yeah. That's an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. Just embrace it.
Okay.
All right. So you've done a lot of community service. Obviously, community is important to you. What do you like to do to give back? What's some of the volunteer stuff that you've done?
The Seattle Marathon was really fun. It was through the Washington State Chiropractic Association.
Okay.
And they do it every year. So if you want to get involved, they do it every year. Although the location for the marathon changed. Like, it used to be at Seattle Center. And now I think they have it run through UW.
Oh, okay.
And so we would just all bring our tables and just, serve people that were coming off of the marathon. And we were right next to the massage booth. And so that was really fun to use our gifts and our hands and our talent to help people. But also I'm really into art and like helping artists too. So I paint and I do music, and I'm kind of a Renaissance woman.
Okay.
So I
What
like
kind of music do you do?
I play the piano.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Thanks.
You're so talented. This is great. Tori, our next guest, he's a singer. Maybe you guys can
Cool. We
collab.
can collab, yeah. But like, everything with my hands. So I'm like, painting,
yeah.
chiropractic, massaging, piano. And so, I think I've gotten involved with a gallery. It's called the A&T Gallery. So I used to volunteer there. And so.
Is that in Bellevue?
That's in Seattle. So
Okay.
you know where the big fountain is?
Yeah,
It's
by
right
the Space Needle.
Yeah, by the Space Needle. It's right over there. And so it's like a nice little artist community. And you can volunteer there and
awesome.
give your time and support local artists.
That's really cool. That's I had no idea. I need to get involved with that. What are some of the future goals for HealthWorks? Do you have any like bigger vision than that. How many clinics do you have right now?
Right now I have 2.
2 clinics, both in the East Side?
One in South Seattle and then one in the Renton area.
Okay.
And then I am looking, I need to find another associate. I need to train someone up in my technique and what we're doing. I think, I don't know. I mean, on a personal level, I would like to get more into like the trauma-informed, what is it called? Biohacking. Like taking people, because we take people from basically like very, injured state to like try to get them as close to back to their normal life.
Right.
But on a personal level, I'm really into like, accelerated growth, biohacking, neurohacking, superfoods.
Yeah.
So I would love to like have programs like that for people.
Okay.
I talk about it with my patients, but it's hard when you're just trying to like learn to like do basic tasks again to think like, oh, I could be like,
excelling. Yeah. No, that's true. And it takes so much time. It depends on the person, but it takes so much time to just get back to where you were pre-accident. And that's such a frustrating thing for a lot of people who go through car accidents. It's unfortunate, but it's good to have someone like you to be involved with them and to be a positive light in the healing process for them. Before we finish, I want to ask, do you have a quote or a mantra or a word of wisdom that you'd like to impart in closing? You're a very articulate person. You've done so many great things. I'm sure there's going to be something in there that people could take away from this podcast and it would resonate with them.
Let me think about that.
That's a hard question.
That's a hard question, Josh.
Someone.
I'm gonna take it full circle, and I'm gonna say that I've seen this in you, and it's just about passion. It's about following your passion. And I think in life we wait. Sometimes as just humans, we wait for things to come to us. We wait for the right person or the right opportunity or the conditions to be right, and it never is. And I think that this year I've kind of made this mantra of like doing everything with love, which makes me only do the things I really care about and really love. So it's been a really great year for me. I'm only around the friends I really like. I'm only working with people I really like.
That's very good.
And I think it's just really boosted the vibe. Like
just taking you to the next level. To the next level. Love. I love it. Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, that makes me want to be on the boat right now. I summertime in Washington is like 2 months long.
Yeah.
And I want to be on a boat as many days of that 2 months as possible. So that's a good time to end it. We got to go on the boat.
Let's go.
Thanks for being on the show, Janelle.
Thank you for having me, Josh.